Wangi. Mehtab Haider Saab, who's a journalist and reporter, also joins us for our second segment. Of course, our second segment concerns the facility of non-disclosure of income source for builders for another 6 months' time, as well as a fixed tax regime that will continue till the month of December 2021, that has been announced by Prime Minister Imran Khan as a New Year gift to those associated with the construction industry. Mehtab, thank you very much to have joined us. Mehtab, how important is the construction industry for Pakistan, and do you feel that the incentives that have been given by Prime Minister Imran Khan will be a boost for this sector?
Thank you very much. Actually, after the outbreak of COVID-19, the economic activities choked very badly, and it affected negatively. And because of that, the GDP growth fell sharply, and it stood at negative 0.4% of GDP. So to spur the growth momentum, there was need to provide such kind of incentive. And the government introduced it in last April, soon after the eruption of the COVID-19. But because of many factors, because then at that time it was introduced through presidential ordinance. Then it was elected through act of parliament on the eve of the budget. So there were different procedural things which would need to be explained, and it was limited time. So it was a good response received by the government, but there was a need to extend it for another
facilitate the sector, in fact, so that given the fact that there is a pandemic that exists and the second wave that has engulfed Pakistan amongst other countries as well, it was the need of the hour to extend that to a further couple of months' time. Thank you, Mehtab. Kindly stay online with us. We've also been joined by our second guest for this segment. He is none other than Faheem Sardar, leading economist. Faheem, thank you very much to have joined us. Faheem, when you see the different kind of incentives that now have been given as on the 1st of January this year by Prime Minister Imran Khan to the construction industry, and also as far as the agriculture sector is also concerned, there have been certain developments in that sector as well. How important are these sectors in your point of view, and how important do you feel is the government's initiative towards the well-being and the strengthening of these sectors?
Thank you for the discussion. Firstly, we have to bear in mind that these sectors are multiplier sectors. That basically means these sectors are going to have a multiple effect. With one effort, you have multiple effects in desired avenues. When you talk about agriculture, when you talk about construction, although I don't think you've discussed IT, when you talk about IT, for example, there are other sectors as well, you have multiplier effects. And the government is trying right now to kickstart the economy in a very ruthless COVID situation, which, by the way, Pakistan has survived far better than many other countries. We have, as our colleague was pointing out, that our GDP was at minus 0.4% growth as of June, but we have done far better than many countries, and this is not number fudging or anything like that. When we talk about agriculture or construction or any multiplier sector, the objective is to increase activity, and the objective is to expand the quantum of activity. That has an effect not only on the people who are earning money, it has an effect on the government, which starts to earn more tax. So just to put it in extremely crude language, you have to increase the transactions in an economy. When you focus on agri, which is based on subsistence level requirements, when you talk about construction, which has a multi-industry feeding into it and feeding from it, you have a very robust and vibrant activity that you're looking for.
All right. Also, Faheem, when we talk of the construction sector and the different incentives and initiatives that were started by the government, whether it be the construction projects that will be launched in Punjab, or the low-cost housing scheme that will remain into place, and the interest level, as to the Prime Minister, would not be more than 5% in houses of 5 mallas or no more than 7% for houses of 10 mallas. How important is this also for those low-income segment of the society that cannot afford to build houses on their own?
Okay, so let's break this up. Housing has been an issue in Pakistan, and that was part of the mandate of the government when they came in. How you get it done, we'll get to that in a second. Pakistan has a huge demand for housing, and that's why you see all these societies, just to give an example, they get gobbled up the moment they're launched. It is extremely important to provide cheap, easily affordable housing to people. However, there's going to be mortgage involved, come what may, and that brings in the second leg of this whole discussion, which is revenue generation of an individual. Now, if a person has to pay, let's say 7,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees in principal and markup on this low rate loan, they will have to earn far more than that. So it's important to keep a balance, and we have to remain mindful that these are extremely important projects which need to be done, and if they can be somehow strengthened from the lower end, meaning that people can generate more revenue, hence they can go for this facility, that makes the whole project more feasible, more easy, and more accessible, frankly speaking, for all the people.
All right. Now, Faheem, also, do you feel that these incentives that have been given and, of course, extended by the current government will lead to more investment in these sectors?
Obviously, I mean, the moment you see an industry starting to develop, the moment you see something opening up, investment pours in. I keep telling people, you don't have to look for investors. You just have to create the right level playing field for all the interested parties. Right now, although we've talked about a local industry thing, I just want to quickly add that even internationally, there are investors who want to come into Pakistan. They're just waiting for certain things to be straightened out. You typically do not have to run after investors. If the field is proper, they'll come themselves.
All right. Faheem, also, there has been a certain priority that has been given to certain sectors by the government that includes food security, agriculture, electricity, manpower, foreign investment, privatization, information technology and exports. We've talked about agriculture, information technology, as well as the construction industry. What about the rest of the sectors? How would you grade them as far as their importance is concerned for a country like Pakistan?
Extremely important, and there's one more sector which I would like to add to that list that you said is economic outreach, which is basically converging all the economic factors, all the economic potential of Pakistan to one point, and from there moving in one singular effort, not direction, singular effort. All of them are important, and once again, sorry to harp on the subject, these are multiplier sectors, all of them. When you talk about energy, when you talk about construction, when you talk about FDI, when you talk about economic outreach, all of them are multiplier sectors, and there is a reason they have been chosen. There's a reason that they've been brought onto one page so that you have you can sort of leverage this multiplier concept. Every country does this, it's nothing new. It's good that we're doing it, and you just need to see it till the end. That's important.
All right. Now, Mehtab, you're also online with us. I'd like to ask you the next question that concerns the online agriculture dashboard that has been developed by the National Security Division that is going to monitor food prices and the availability of commodities at the national, provincial and the district levels. Now, Mehtab, given the fact that there are so many hoarders in the country that take advantage of such situations, how important is it to control the prices of such items?
Actually, after the 80th Amendment, I think this kind of incentive can play a vital role. But, I think in Pakistan, after the 80th Amendment, the price control is basically the responsibility of the provincial government. And, there is a need of better coordination among the center and the provinces if we want to control the prices. And as you discussed, hoarding is also an administrative issue, and it also falls into the domain of the provinces. So this National Price Monitoring Committee, it can play a major role, and national food security is also very important because, as the Prime Minister had also assigned them to monitor the prices of daily essential items, food sector. So this kind of better coordination and with this use of technology, I think we can control supply side, we can improve the supply side constraints. Because of that, the prices are escalating in Pakistan. So
but Mehtab, do you feel we can also get hold of the hoarders, those who are taking undue advantage by putting the prices at extremely high levels for the normal people, because you know, given the fact that the whole world is engulfed in a more or less an economic crisis of some sorts because of the pandemic, many people cannot afford the normal commodities of everyday life at the rates that these holders put them to.
Of course, I have already mentioned, because you know, it's an administrative issue, and it falls into the domain of the provinces, and they should take strict action against those. But I want to raise another issue, and that is the revival of the magistracy system, because you know, before that kind, there was magistrates who were responsible to fix the prices and to monitor the prices. And after the abolishing of the magistracy system, now it's a problem. There is a lacuna, and that needs to be fulfilled. Because you know, if there is no administrative control, then everyone is free to fix the prices and reach the voiceless consumers. And it is also responsibility of the provinces to take strict action against holders who are involved in this kind of practices, so that this kind of action is very, very important.
All right, thank you very much, Mehtab Haider Saab, journalist, reporter, to have joined us as well. Faheem, my last question to you regarding this is, how do you foresee the future of the different sectors, given the fact that we are, of course, engulfed by a pandemic that has, that of course touches the economy of every country, including Pakistan as well. Under these conditions, the different incentives that are given by the government and will be given in the future as well, if I understand well, do you feel there will be a boost for the common man in Pakistan that is under a lot of pressure?
Sectors, yes, the sectors need to be properly handled, and they need to be properly, let's just say, allowed to work. So when you talk about an incentive, it's basically focusing on a sectoral specific issues. Now there's infrastructure, and then there are institutions and players. So these sectoral points that you've mentioned, they basically try to fix the infrastructure aspect, and consequently that flows, the benefit flows to the players, and then it flows to the public. Just one point about the thing that you were talking about, the agri dashboard, because I've been involved in that. One of the things that's being fixed through that agri dashboard is the structural issue. And of course, absolutely, you have constitutional aspects, and you have the provincial aspects. I won't comment on that, but I'm talking about infrastructure. When you talk about all these sectors that we started off with, like 6 or 7, all of them need to have some sectoral, infrastructural calibrations, retooling, but redoing, so to speak. You pull out one portion and you put in a better portion in the whole mechanism. That helps the players work on that platform. That is what Pakistan is trying to do right now. And one thing which I have to stress, because I've also been involved in economic outreach, is that we are converging information to one point. We're trying to bring all this information, all the available information to one point, so that you can have a proper strategy built for the future. And right now, it's going to take a little while, but I think we're on the right track and moving at a very fast pace. Pakistan is going to benefit from all of this, and of course the people who have low income will benefit from this as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Faheem Sardar, leading economist from Pakistan, talking to us about the incentives that have been given in certain sectors by Prime Minister Imran Khan on the 1st of January 2021. And of course, this is very important, as Faheem Sardar also pointed out, that the convergence of all the sectors together for the benefit of the common man in Pakistan, so that future strategies can be implemented at a more easier level and more easily and in a much better systematic manner, so as to benefit the common man of Pakistan. The common man of Pakistan is what